Hello.
How you doing?
Who do we have the pleasure of speaking with?
My name's Michael.
You're gonna have to speak up a little bit, Michael. Where you from, Michael?
I am from Montgomery County, Maryland.
Where we at right now?
This is Baltimore, Maryland.
What brings you to Baltimore?
Well, about 6 to 7 months ago, I actually came down here to pick something up for a friend, and I still have not made it home from that trip. Going on 7 months now.
How did you get stuck?
Um, we came down to pick up Suboxone, which we were going to send to a friend who just got locked up, and ran into a situation where our money was taken in a drug deal gone wrong. I technically didn't have anywhere to go home to, so I just ended up staying here and have been quote unquote homeless, running the streets ever since.
Who did you live with in Montgomery County?
I actually had a place. Me, my brother, and my sister were all beneficiaries of my dad, who just passed a little over a year ago. Um, Left us two homes. We sold one. We still have one. My sister lives in there with her husband and my nephews. And I could have, at the moment, probably gone home and stayed with my sister, but I had just relapsed when my father passed, and at that time the drugs were becoming more important to where I didn't want to be that far away from where they were at. Coming back and forth from Montgomery County is difficult to do. So what a lot of people do from the suburbs or even other states, they end up moving and living down here and being homeless because the drugs are always here 24/7, every hour, every day. So in a lot of the places that they live, it's not the case. So they come down here and they end up staying and never return home.
How long were you clean for before you relapsed?
It was about 3 years.
What inspired you to stay clean for 3 years?
I was the good old saying of sick and tired of being sick and tired. I really was burnt out from the entire world of drugs. It becomes exhausting at times where you're mentally always thinking of it. Even when you have drugs, you're getting down to your last, so you know that you have to go and cop more drugs to be able to stay well, stay okay, stay good. So it's really never a time that you're not thinking of it and can actually just, relax. So, like I said, it just becomes mentally tiring, exhausting, and I got fed up with it and decided, I have tried multiple times to go into rehab. It never seemed to work for me. I don't really like kind of being told what to do, where to go. I usually, for the most part, like to do things my own way. And so I didn't go into a program. I actually rented a house kind of out in the middle of nowhere and cut all my phones off and went out there and just went through it. knew that it was that time, and I cut everything off. I brought drugs for the first couple days, and I knew when those were done and over with that, a good 2 to 8 weeks of hell was to come. And that's honestly, what it is when you decide to quit. Um, if it's opiates that you're addicted to, and you decide to cut everything else out, meaning Suboxone, methadone, all those things, because they're opiates as well. If you really decide to get sober and clean, you know for sure that you have 2 to 4 weeks of physical withdrawal to deal with, and then another month or two of really letting your body and your mind reset itself back to normal. So a lot of addicts have a hard time dealing with knowing that is what you're going to have to go through no matter what, if you're using and decide that you really want to stop.
How old were you when you first started using drugs?
Probably around 13, 14. Started with like the regular stuff, alcohol, weed. Maybe 16, 17, started experimenting with mushrooms, acid. I don't think there was too many others in there. Maybe ecstasy. And really didn't get into any type of pill, opiate, definitely not heroin or any of those yet, until, we're talking mid to late 20s. I think the first time I took an opiate, I was in my mid 20s, and I had gotten a scholarship to South Carolina to play basketball. I came home. Because I got caught with a bunch of weed, and I ended up getting hit by a car, leaving the bar one night, and they gave me painkillers, OxyContin, which I hadn't had any experience with, didn't know anything about, and took those as prescribed. And then when they decided to take them away, my body and my mind both said, no, like, you need those, I want them, and the chase was on. And from then on, I have not really, besides this 3-year span, I had not had real clean time in that couple year span.
And how old are you now?
45.
Does it feel like you've been doing drugs for as long as you have?
To be honest, it really doesn't. I want to take that back. There's times that, yes, it does, because, like I said, there's times where you just feel beaten down, mentally, physically exhausted. But I guess for some reason, today you caught me on a good day, and it doesn't feel like it's been that long. But yeah, when I really think of it, it is. It's too long. It's too much time that I've wasted my life, in stupid situations, and not, pursuing what I really want and should be doing.
Would you say this is the lowest point you ever been at during your addiction?
I would say, it is. It's neck and neck with right before I quit last time. had gotten to an extremely low point, even to the point of um, no like real uh, death threats, but I was getting there mentally to where I really didn't know if I wanted to go on, continue. Um, if I didn't have uh, such an amazing, beautiful daughter and great family behind me, I definitely do not think that I would still be here. But knowing that I have them to live for, fight for, continue to go on, I just didn't have nothing in me would even allow me to really get, you know, to that point of truly thinking about it.
What's keeping you out here now?
That's a tough question. Yeah, like there's nothing that really should be keeping me out here. I let loose and I crashed when my dad passed away, and I knew I was doing that. I knew that that was happening, um, and I kind of wanted to do it at that time and at that moment. But at this point, it's already been too long. It's already miserable. Um, there's nothing good about this anymore, or ever really. But uh, same thing that was here last time I, went on a run is the same thing that's here this time, and it's the same thing that'll be there 10 years from now if I decide to come back out. The people, places, and things that are here, not just Baltimore. That's in any city that you're when you're looking for drugs and you're looking for that environment, it will be there for sure. So at that point, like unless you're really truly, trying to stop, this environment's here for you if that's what you really want. I don't plan or want to have this for the rest of my life. I can't do it.
What drugs are you currently taking?
I am currently taking, well, with the knowledge of taking cocaine, um, fentanyl. I did a little bit of mushrooms the other day, like a chocolate bar. Um, smoke weed every once in a while. The main two being, crack and fentanyl.
How do you use the drugs that you're taking?
I just sniff my drugs or smoke, crack.
Are you
But
scared of the drugs?
I've actually never been scared of the drugs. I'm not exactly sure why, but I've overdosed multiple times, probably in the 15 to 20. Um, I've had maybe 2 to 3 like serious, significant overdoses. Um, but it's still, for whatever reason, it never scared me enough. And I'll tell you the truth why. If for some reason God decided that it was my time to go, I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it would be a peaceful way that if he decided that was my time. That's the only reason I can say that there's no fear when it comes to death in that manner. I'm not saying it's a good thing because it's not, and I don't want it. But I think that's what allows you to not fear dying from him.
Is it dangerous out here?
Absolutely. Um, it's probably, and for sure in the top 5 most dangerous cities in the nation. there's something about Baltimore that there's some wild people being outside in a homeless environment makes you exposed to where you literally have to be in certain situations. You have to walk at 2 in the morning. You have to sleep um, with no cover around you, no windows, walls, ceilings. Anyone can walk up to you at any moment in time. There's always people trying to rob, steal. So yeah, it's a very very dangerous place. You know, myself, a lot of my friends have all been, attempted robberies, stabbed, shot at. So it's a scary, dangerous place at times.
Are you scared for your safety?
I mean, I'm not just for my own reasons. Maybe just because maybe like some of the people that I've been around or know, um, I feel pretty safe myself. But there's actually times that I'm scared for other people, friends of mine. Um, you know, and I'm not saying by any means that I'm, don't have to worry because I do. But for the most part, I feel, okay with my safety.
What do you think your purpose in life is, Mike?
I think for a long time now, even prior to like really getting and understanding some of the stuff that comes along with addiction, my addiction, other people's addiction, um, I think there's a part of me that I'm better at helping sort and solve other people's problems than I am at solving my own. So I think some sort of counselor, mentor, um, just any type of job that would involve, helping others not go through maybe some of the mistakes that I made in life, choices and roads that I went down instead of staying on this path over here. I'd love to be there for, younger men and women that are in the situation where I may have been at times, and I made that choice to go down this fork in the road. And if I could go back on it, for sure, I would choose, the other way.
Do you
Um,
think people need to actually hear your story and see the condition you're currently in?
I do. I think it's important for them because there's a lot of highs in this life, and there's a lot of lows. And for me, at least, I'm not scared to talk about, all of them. I don't mind for people to see me at the lowest. One, because I know there will be a top again. I will be able to get out of this. But two, I want maybe one person sees it and chooses not to go, not to pick up a drug, not to try this, just from one thing that they heard, in my message and another person's message. So yeah, that would be like the goal of as many people as they can seeing, our video, and if it helps one person, that's enough.
Are you in fear of these new school drugs being so potent that you won't be able to bounce back?
One, that's a very good question. And two, it's like it's very very scary because I already know, going through synthetic drugs that are made, Percocet, Oxycontin, real heroin, and now having to go through the fentanyl and the xylazine and those things. I already know myself from experience that it's extremely more difficult dealing with these drugs that are out now as opposed to the ones that we've had in history for the longest time. That we finally were maybe getting somewhere with trying to find ways to help people out and away from. But these new ones have a whole you know a whole something behind it to where it's even stronger, more difficult, new problems that never had to see or deal with that can't even figure out at the moment because no one's dealt with it. Um, so yeah, in a way, I kind of like trying to be one of the people that tries to help kind of figure out, somehow, some way, um, a way to help deal with it. But it's definitely more scary than the new drugs are than the drugs from the past.
Do you think this is by design?
I do actually. I think that one, I think that our government has had a chance to come up with or come out with ways that would have helped people get away from opiates long before, um, that really would work for people and not just keep them hooked and stuck in the hamster wheel. It would be a way of allowing them to get rid of and let go of for good. But what they seem to want to do is patent those drugs and never let anything come out on it or with them, those drugs. And now something that really could have helped millions of people is tucked away in some lab, never used, never experimented on, never experimented with, and nobody knows what could have been. Um, that's one way of you know I guess trying to the, we haven't really been given a fair chance of having something out there that would truly let us get away from the drugs that are out here. Um, Real fast, because I lost my train of thought. Remind me what that last question was, if you
Are you still taking these drugs to cope with the loss of your parents?
can. I just 15 minutes before our interview started, still using. Um, I have talked to multiple times. A lot of the only handful of close friends that I have out here, and all of us are kind of on the same page of really being done and tired. Uh, there was a little part of this that back in the day it was fun. Um, there's no more fun in any of this. Right now it's just maintain, finding the drug that you need to maintaining it by. And when I say that, I mean literally, if you don't have this drug in you, you're gonna lay there and be sick all day long, multiple days in a row. So it's not like, oh, you're just gonna be in a bad mood, or you're gonna whine or pout. Physically, you're ill, and you cannot function and can't do anything. So not having that drug, basically stops and prevents you from being able to do anything productive.
Where do you see yourself 3 months from now?
I actually know what would that be? Um, by the end of the year, I'll say for sure that I'll have bare minimum a month of clean time, um, and I'm hoping to have more than that. I'm not gonna do a winter out here again. Um, it's difficult, but when you do, you know, freezing cold winters, it just adds an element of, um, making it that much more miserable. And I'm already tired of it. Like I said, a lot of us here, drugs have gotten shitty. Um, like I said, there's no fun in it. Prices are high. So, like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? We're out here for what? Like, at least if you're having fun, at least you have a reason that you can make it make sense. Like, you're not having fun, you're spending a bunch of money, you're not even seeing the people that you truly love and want to be around. You have no job, no work, no place to lay your head. Like, somebody make that make sense and tell me how you'd be okay with living that way.
You mentioned having a family as a support system. Why don't you leave right now?
So that's where my line is, and my decision making and choices I've made are on the line of, at the moment, I wouldn't be able to just go straight back to being there with family. I would have to, go in, do treatment, get clean, where my family members know for sure, you're clean, I haven't used a drug in this amount of time. And that's them just, um, caring and being, smart and safe as far as, um, having little ones around. Uh, you just, when you're an addict, there's just things you can't guarantee that you're not going to make a mistake and leave something here, or you're not going to nod out on the couch and your little nephew has to see you like that. Like, it's just not an environment that, or not a picture that my sister, my mother, my brother, myself, my dad before he passed, would want to put the little ones in. So that's always been kind of a rule, or just like an understanding that I wouldn't do that to them and they wouldn't want that. So I'm not able to go home until I get clean and get healthy, and I'm okay with that.
If a car were to pull up right now and tell you jump in to take you somewhere to get all the help you need so you could get back with your family, would you be willing to leave? Say that again.
I said, man, that's tough. Honestly, I give you the straight up truth. I think that if somebody's set like Monday's your day, and I know they always say, like, if you don't get, like in interventions and things like that, if you don't get them to go right this second, chances are he's not going. If I had Monday as my set date and I make that agreement, I would go, you know, I think, and this is whatever, we're talking hypothetically or whatever. If I set a date for something like that, I think that I truly would do follow through with and complete that, agreement. Um, as far as getting in the car and leaving right now, there's a very slim chance of doing that. Just knowing, like, it's just such a crazy decision. And like, I almost have to mentally get myself set and prepared, knowing that, all right, you're about to go battle. I don't know. Like, it's hard for maybe somebody who hasn't been through it, or maybe doesn't, quite understand, but like I almost have to set my mind to like, all right, it's time, and you're going. Just spur of the moment throws me off so much to where I really think that I would just end up leaving a day or two after, even if I did go now. You know what I mean? So rather than, kind of like not it wouldn't be disrespectful, but like um, rather than making that choice, knowing that most likely this is what I'm gonna do, I would respectfully say, hey, how about this date? Is that possible? Yeah, it's possible. Okay, cool, let's do that. Because I really don't know that I would be, and that's just me having respect for whoever was putting that option or possibility in play.
Going back to your 13-year-old self, because no one knows Michael like Michael knows Michael, what would you have told yourself to make you never use drugs a day in your life?
I mean, I don't know that there's anything that I could say or possibly. I think the only thing that might even be possible of working would be if you were able to tell yourself a little bit of a white lie and said, if you do this, so and so might not make it, or what I mean, some type of like um, where you're basically saying like if you were to take one of those drugs, your dog's not gonna have legs, or what I mean, like something that's detrimental to you that would hurt, and you wouldn't want to happen so bad that maybe you would do everything you can to prevent that from happening, so you wouldn't use. But like the message would, for the most part, be this party and stuff is always an option. This party and stuff will always be here. Please give yourself an opportunity to go through this life clean and sober with a clear head. Challenge yourself. Open your mind to knowing that there's so much more out there, and by using these drugs, you're limiting yourself and your options to where you could go. If you decide later on down the road to use, I promise you it'll still be there. Give this a shot first, the clean and sober life. With all your might, try your hardest to do so. And, that's truly all you can do, for someone, is let them know it's gonna be there if you decide.
If you could say something to someone right now to inspire them to be the best them they could be, what would you tell them?
Be yourself. 100% be yourself. Genuine, real, honest. Don't pretend, fake, try and be something that you're not. As long as you're truly your genuine self as a person and what you love, who you are, no matter what it is, no matter what sex, race, religion, color, height, none of that matters except for you being you, and everyone will attach and draw themselves to you for who you truly are.
And with that being said, we want to thank you for your time. We want to thank you for your honesty. And most importantly, we want to thank you for your story. We're praying for you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.